You open your banking app. You scroll past the transactions. You check the balance. You do a quick mental calculation. Okay, I think I'm fine. You close the app. But the feeling doesn't go away. Even when you earn more, something still feels off. Even when you budget, progress feels slow. Even when you do the right things, money still feels heavier than it should. You're not reckless. You're not irresponsible. You're not ignoring your finances. You're working. You're paying bills. You're trying to save. So why does it still feel like money is controlling you instead of the other way around? If that feeling sounds familiar, this video is for you. Because here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. Your financial life is not controlled by hundreds of decisions. It's controlled by 4 numbers. 4 numbers that quietly shape almost every outcome in your life, whether you track them or not. Where you live, how stressed you feel, how free you are to change jobs, how fast you build wealth, or how long you stay stuck. Most financial advice focuses on tactics. Save more, spend less, invest earlier. But tactics don't work if you don't understand the system you're operating inside. And before we go any further, we need to address the lie most of us are sold about money. The lie is that financial success is about willpower. That if you just try harder, track every purchase, and stay disciplined enough, things will eventually click. But if the underlying numbers in your system are wrong, no amount of discipline fixes it. You're not struggling because you're making hundreds of bad choices. You're struggling because a few key numbers are quietly stacked against you. That's why your real financial system is governed by 4 numbers that dictate outcomes long before motivation ever shows up. Once you see them clearly, a lot of frustration suddenly makes sense. So let's walk through them, slowly, because this isn't theory. This is your life. And as we go, try to estimate your own numbers, even roughly. Precision isn't the goal, awareness is. The first number is your fixed cost ratio. This is the most important number most people never calculate. Your fixed cost ratio is the percentage of your take-home income that is permanently committed every month before you make a single choice. Rent or mortgage, minimum debt payments, insurance, utilities, subscriptions you can't realistically cancel right now. Anything that would still be there if you tried to be good with money next month. Here's what most people don't realize. Freedom doesn't come from how much you earn. It comes from how much of your income is already spoken for. Once fixed costs climb past about 55 or 60% of take-home pay, stress rises sharply and flexibility collapses. At that point, your future is effectively pre-spent. This is why budgeting alone often fails. You can't budget your way out of structural overload. If 70% of your income is locked into housing, debt, and mandatory bills, arguing with yourself over coffee and takeout won't change the outcome. So step 1 is simple. Add up your fixed monthly obligations. Divide by your monthly take-home pay. That percentage is your fixed cost ratio. That's number 1. Number 2 is your margin. Margin is what's left after fixed costs. Not what you hope to save, not what your spreadsheet says you should save, what actually survives the month. If your take-home pay is $4,000 and your fixed costs are $2,500, your maximum possible margin is $1,500. From that $1,500, you still need food, transportation, random life expenses, and anything enjoyable. Whatever is left after that is your real margin. Margin is where all progress happens. Savings, debt reduction, investing, room to make mistakes without panic. Low margin doesn't just slow wealth building, it creates constant background anxiety. When margin is thin, your brain shifts into survival mode. You think short term. You avoid risk, even good risk. You feel guilty spending and guilty not spending. That's not laziness, that's biology. Your brain is not wired to calmly plan decades ahead when you're one bad month away from stress. So calculate it. Take-home pay minus fixed costs minus a realistic estimate of variable essentials. What's left? That number, however small, is your current margin. That's number 2. Number 3 is your time coverage. This one quietly controls your freedom. Time coverage is how long you could survive if your income stopped tomorrow. Not in theory, in reality. If you lost your job, got sick, or needed to walk away from a toxic situation, how many months could you maintain your current life before things break? 1 month? 3 months? 6? Time coverage equals leverage. When coverage is low, every problem feels dangerous. A bad manager feels threatening. A heavy workload feels unavoidable. A bad deal feels like something you have to accept. When coverage is higher, the same problems feel negotiable. You can push back, you can pause, you can walk away. Time coverage isn't about being rich, it's about buying calm, and calm changes behavior everywhere. You negotiate better, you think longer term, you stop saying yes out of fear. To estimate it, take your accessible savings, money you could actually use without penalties, and divide it by your monthly burn rate. That gives you time coverage in months. That's number 3. Number 4 is your burn rate. Your burn rate is how much it costs to live your current life each month. Not your dream life, your real one. Housing, bills, food, transportation, kids, debt, all of it. Burn rate sets the floor for stress. If your burn rate is $3,000 a month, you need far less income and savings to feel stable than someone whose burn rate is $7,000. Same income, completely different emotional reality. This is why lifestyle inflation is dangerous. Not morally, structurally. Every permanent upgrade raises burn rate, and once burn rate rises, all the other numbers shift against you. Here's what most people miss. These 4 numbers form a loop. High burn rate raises fixed costs. High fixed costs crush margin. Low margin limits time coverage. Low time coverage increases stress. And stress leads to decisions that make all 4 numbers worse. That's the trap. But the reverse is also true. Lower fixed costs raise margin. Higher margin builds time coverage. More time coverage reduces stress. Lower stress leads to better decisions. That's the escape. So what do you do now? First, calculate your 4 numbers. Roughly is fine. Second, pick one number to improve over the next 90 days. Not all 4, 1. Design beats discipline. Most people don't have a money problem. They have a visibility problem. They're trying to win a game without seeing the scoreboard. Once you see these 4 numbers, money stops feeling mysterious. You stop guessing. You stop blaming yourself. You stop reacting. You start designing. And design beats discipline every time. If this helped you see your finances differently, subscribe. This channel exists to explain the systems behind money, not to shame people for struggling inside them.